filtered
around
through
the
it.
globe.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Around the globe. It's not like it happened in one area of the world.
Yeah.
Say like you left Canada for 2 years and you came back only to find it here, right? It's like
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, you're gonna find it.
Yeah.
As much as it's like, obviously it's a horrible situation and devastating, it's very interesting that like we lived through it and like, I don't know. It's like
Which
how,
wasn't a guarantee.
Yeah, exactly. Like literally. But
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy times, and I feel like it's gonna be still prominent for a while yet. Like the vaccines and like travel precautions.
Mhm.
Obviously, people's comfort levels are different. With it and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
I mean, it must be interesting for you being like a driver who's in contact with a lot of people.
See, like I have a fairly easygoing
Yeah.
response, I guess, to most of these elements. So, for example, if there's some sort of like crisis that's happening in the community, or even in people's personal lives, like I'm one of those that sort of takes it in, but
Yeah.
from a like third person view and saying, what's going on that I should be seeing as well too.
Yeah.
So I don't usually get like too invested emotionally because I'm trying to think, okay, how do I like navigate through all this,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So even like during the midst of the pandemic and I was still driving, I mean, I'd take my precautions that was required,
Yeah.
but I was a lot more interested in hearing and interacting with people and seeing how they were processing it.
Yeah.
That was, I think, what really drove my curiosity. I'm a bit of a people person, just a little bit. Just,
I couldn't
it
tell.
might have been subtle.
Well, this is a great job for you then.
It is.
I always
Yeah.
say I think being an Uber driver would be so fun because you would meet all types of people and like just get to chat and then meet new people.
Yep.
And you get some funny stories for sure. I
Yeah.
feel.
I think for me, one of the reasons why I really enjoy it is because there is such a diverse group of people we have access to.
Yeah.
Now, it's not for everyone, I would say. Like, people ask, what would make a really good Uber driver? I say, if you're a really good driver, because, I mean,
Yeah.
no matter how amazing a conversationalist you are, if you are...
Yeah. If you're crashing the car.
if you're driving in an erratic manner, they're not going to enjoy your conversational skills.
Yeah.
They'll be like
Yeah.
more hanging on to their seat, right? So
Yeah.
be a really confident driver, one, aware of your surroundings.
Yeah.
But then it really helps to be able to know how to not have a conversation, I think, for the sake of having a conversation,
Yeah.
but actually because you're interested in
Yeah.
those.
Yeah.
And then the other element, which I would say makes it challenging for a lot of Uber drivers who are not from here originally, but from who are immigrants per se. It's challenging to know the social dynamics that aren't often spoken about,
Yeah.
right? And so, how to be able to read a person in this
Yeah.
cultural setting when they're giving cues that they're not interested in being engaged
Yeah.
socially. That's really important to
Yeah, I
know.
was gonna say, do you get that ever? People that are just like,
Oh, for sure,
they're just-
absolutely. The whole gamut. Like the thing is,
Yeah.
we never know who we're gonna get, right?
Yeah.
We never know what kind of circumstance they're coming from, or what kind of headspace they're in, or what
Yeah.
kind of challenges they're going through. So, like being able to read those cues in the first short little spell is really critical, you know. And you're not. I mean, a lot of people will do it for economic reasons because they want to get good tips or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to be driven by like actually the opportunity to connect with someone just because you can is a pretty amazing option, you know.
Sure.
Yeah.
You said you're from BC. Whereabouts?
I grew up in BC, Kamloops for the most part.
Okay.
Mhm.
I went to 2 years of high school in Penticton.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the Okanagan.
It's a pretty. When we first moved to Canada, we ended up in Kelowna,
Okay.
so just down the street from
Yeah.
Penticton, right? Yeah.
And then you played in. Do you ever play camps?
I had a tournament there.
Against the Blazers.
No. It was I was like 15,
Oh, gotcha.
14 or something.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is the Blazers W?
Yeah. But played in Chilliwack,
Yeah.
and then Prince George for a little bit, and then Cowichan. I spent a couple years in BC.
So what brought you to Calgary? The mountains or?
My grad studies, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I
What were you
came up
studying?
here. A variety of things. A variety of things. I had a very long academic career that
Yeah.
it was an exercise in trying to figure out what I was into.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing.
I think a lot of people have that.
Yeah.
You know, you would say it's not a bad thing unless you spend like over a couple of,
Yeah.
So I started in accounting, then I said
Okay.
nope, then I went to sciences, and I
Yeah.
said I knew sciences wasn't for me, but I still tried it.
Yeah.
And then eventually went into the arts and did English and philosophy, and that's when I came out here for my grad studies.
Yeah.
English and philosophy are like my areas of concentration, which I thoroughly geek out on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's why I came out here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then after there's actually a school out in Cochrane, a grad school,
Okay.
small grad school
Yeah.
in the area of theology. So this is the study of religion,
Oh, cool.
where I went and did my grad studies.
Yeah.
I am intrigued by how people find their convictions in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a wide variety of convictions, right? Things that we hold tenaciously to. In this
Yeah.
culture, they say you're not supposed to talk about two things. Which two things are you not supposed
Religion and politics.
Yeah.
Fascinating, isn't
Most
it?
interesting.
I know.
Yeah.
So I think my premise is that we don't talk about them because we don't know how to. I don't think we know how to be able to hold our convictions strongly
Yeah.
while letting others have theirs freely,
Yeah.
especially if they differ with yours. Because
Yeah, we're too like opinionated and black and white.
We take it
Sensitive on
personally.
certain topics.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what is it that we miss along the line there that, it just kind of gets fumbled up where we just don't feel safe to open up that way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I find that tremendously fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then after time out here, I'm like, I kind of like it here in Calgary.
Yeah.
It's, like when I was in Saskatchewan, I grew to love the skies out there.
Yeah.
But then I also love the mountains like we had in BC, right?
Yeah.
And here specifically, because I've worked in Edmonton and Grand Prairie and further up north.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Alberta,
Yeah.
but Calgary, I think it's so well situated. I love like the horizon here.
Yes.
The horizon where you
You're
can
so
see.
close. to the
Oh my
mountains.
goodness, I
You
hear
gotta
ya.
make sure of both.
Yeah.
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 Only thing that would make us unbeatable is if we had the ocean.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I was just in Vancouver.
Yeah.
And, I'm a fish. I love the water.
Yeah, yeah.
And I find like there's just not enough places to swim here. There's the river, but it's fast flowing. There's no beaches.
Yeah.
It's very, very cold.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I do like Calgary though. I went to school in upstate New York.
Yeah.
Like pretty much in Canada,
Mm-hmm.
in a very small college town.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Like great experience, but I don't know. It's funny when you come back. You're always like, yeah, Calgary, I do love. You know, like I'd come back in the summers and
Yeah.
stuff, but
Yeah.
I've been here for. You're
Would
like, get me out.
Are you from here originally?
Yeah, from
Yeah.
here. And then I left for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
Then I've been back ever since. I went to Mount Royal for 4.5 years.
Yeah. I love your hair, by the way.
Thank you.
It's just like
Flow, you got the flow.
you have a beautiful flow in your hair. Yeah. One of the things I remember back in my home country, me and my peers in school there, we would be fascinated by the idea of straight hair.
Yeah.
Straight hair, like what a big deal. I mean, white skin was also like second to straight hair, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
straight hair, oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny you always want what you don't have though.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, I'm not like, I have very wavy, like, or like when I was little I had like,
Ringlets?
yes. And they've like, I don't know, I change
Relaxed
it
over
up,
time,
but
yeah.
yeah, I'm always like, I want pin straight hair. People who have pin straight hair like, no, I want curls.
Yeah. Question for you guys. I'd love for you to say no if you don't feel comfortable though. So, when I'm not driving my Uber, one thing I love doing is like posting some of my content online
Yeah.
about how I connect with people along the way. My big jam is how we can still have a fantastic medium of kindness in the way we connect with people along the way.
Yeah.
And one of the things I love featuring is some of my rides and the conversations I have, but I never do it unless I have permission now. Are you guys comfortable with the idea if I were to ask for permission?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
why I say please feel free to say no.
Oh
'Cause
no, for
I'm good
sure.
with
some
that.
people
Yeah.
love their
Totally good
privacy
with
too.
that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. would you be open to signing a consent form for me?
Yes.
Sure.
I consent and I will
You
sign.
consent. Awesome. I'll get you to start here. Depends on the top there.
Sure.
I appreciate you being willing to do so.
No problem. It's been a great ride.
I've enjoyed you guys' company as well too. I'll give you my card too, so you can see where my content is and what kind of thing I do.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Big rating.
Oh, it's kind of tough in a moving vehicle. I understand. Do you recognize this tune?
I don't.
Okay, it's that Spanish series on Netflix. Those robbers.
Oh, what's it called? I don't even think I've seen it, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, it's really popular.
Money Heist.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I haven't even seen it. The fact that I know that.
Oh, it's
Because I've heard that's such a good show. Everyone's like, you need to like binge it
yeah.
or something, but I.
Which is surprising, Kate, that you have to like read subtitles to understand what it's all
Yeah.
about. But yeah, it's a really
I've
good.
heard it's a really good show.
It's a really good one. Yeah. This is the theme song. So.
Okay.